Okay. Yeah. Are you being grumpy grumps? Are you being grumpy grumps? Hold this up. There you go. Okay. Okay. Okay, grumpy grumps. Okay, grumpy grumps. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Grumpity, grumpity, grumpity. Hey guys. How's it going? How is everyone? Morning. Good morning, good morning. Morning, Sophie. You're just a little bit grumpy grumps. Just a little bit, but not too bad. We're playing Poops or Toots. It's another swim day, yay. Still not over half, so I know, the wrap is amazing. And I got it on clearance. You know what I mean? It's kind of amazing. Yeah. Tell me more about that. Tell us more. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, more. Tell us more. Yeah. Mommy's just fixing the coffee maker so that we can have coffee. That's good, right? Mommy and Daddy need coffee. Yeah. We need coffee. Yeah. Yeah. Cozy dozy. Hey Sloth, good morning. Yeah, what else? Tell Mommy more. What is it, my angel? What is it? Yeah. What else do you want to tell us, huh? What else do you want to tell us? I can't say for focus I got ready to... Oh, what's the interview for? If you're allowed to say. I know sometimes you can't say. But we'll be wishing you well. I love the sling too. It's really useful, and she loves being in it, which is great. Yeah. She's cozy in here. She's grumbling not because she's not happy with the sling. She's grumbling because she's trying to get out Poops. It's Poops or Toots morning, as usual. Poops or Toots. Poops or Toots. You're gonna be up a little more? Past stuff on a promotional bakery manager, but that makes sense. When they don't value you, you go elsewhere. Completely agree. Completely agree. Yep. You have my support. Get her done. Get her done. Yeah. All right. That's Daddy's coffee. Now it's time for Mommy's coffee. Yeah. Are you asleep? Are you asleep, bean? Are you asleep, little bean? I know, she is growing so much. She grew over an inch between her 2 appointments. It's wild. I know, she's got little feetsies. Currently 6 months, scared of labor. Oh my gosh, Danielle, I feel you. I was too. it's not fun, okay? Like, don't let me lie to you. Like, it's not like, oh, I don't want people, I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, it was so easy, like whatever, blah, blah, but you can do it. It's hard, but you can do hard things. And I was scared too, and the outcome is worth it. It's hard, but it's worth it, and you can do it. That's what I'm gonna say. But I get it. Around 6 months was the time that I really also started being very nervous about it, so I get that. Exactly. What is for you will not pass you, Flavia. I completely agree. That's a great mindset. What is for you will not pass you. I love to see you, baby. Ring slings are amazing. It's so good. My friend Renee suggested this one to me. Literally a lifesaver. I have hands again. What a joy to have hands, you guys. It sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but I am not being sarcastic. Yeah, tell me more about that. The rainbow ring sling is, it is so cute and joyful. I agree. Hands again. I know, it's so true. Having my hands back is the greatest joy. Yeah, and she gets to snuggle. Yeah. 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 Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Ba-doop, 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 boop, ba-doop, 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 boop, boop. Why did we go to Three Blind Mice? Who knows? I have no reason. Do you have a reason? Why did Mommy sing Three Blind Mice to you? Who knows? Who knows? You miss the baby snuggles. I know I'm gonna miss it when it's gone. I know that soon she's gonna like be embarrassed of me and not want me around anymore and I'll cry. But for now, I'm enjoying it. I overfilled you, didn't I? Can't spill on the baby. Into the woods is always good, I agree. Into the woods is always good. Into the woods to everything. Yeah. You okay? Why are we coughing? Why are we coughing, sweet girl? Why? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get us set up on the tripod and then I have to wake my husband up and then we will read. I'm just moving you guys over to the tripod. Yeah, and then we're gonna read after I wake him up. So 1 second, everybody. Okay, let's put Mommy's coffee down. Let's get the tripod. Yes. 4 minutes every day of his life. Oh, I love that. That's so sweet. Wait, that's so cute. You're gonna break my heart. Yours is 4. I'm gonna cry when she's 4, you guys. How am I supposed to live through 4? Zoe's 4, and she looks like a full college student comparatively. We were looking at pictures of her yesterday when she was a bitty baby, and then pictures of her now, and we were crying. Because she's like a full-grown adult at 4. Also, she sings like a folk singer. She's wild. Let me go wake him up, and I'll be right back. It is fun when they can interact with you. I completely agree. She's a genius child. He's awake and all is well. All is well. My nephew's 3 and it's so true. It's how did they get so big so fast? How? It's almost I don't want to say I need them to stop. I do, Jill. My mom lives there. All right. Get that coffee in mommy's system. So let's see where we're at today in our reading. Hey, Mary, how are you? Open. Open. There we go. All right, so we're at 87%. We really are nearly done with this book, which is surprising, but you know. All right, let's get going. 39. We are on chapter 39. Remember till the 5th of December. I know no reason why a single season should ever be forgot. A spell to recall what is forgotten, requiring saltpeter and a single tear. We'll see you tomorrow, Flavia. What is saltpeter? I've never heard that before. Saltpeter? Does anyone know what saltpeter is? Morning, Avery. It's spelled S-A-L-T-P-E-T-E-R, like the name Peter, saltpeter. Apparently this spell requires it, whatever it is. Okay, well, chapter 39. Here we go. James Juniper thought Gideon Hill was like her daddy, a cowardly shit of a man who only felt whole when he was breaking something. Now, she thinks he's more like her, or what she might have been if she never found Agnes and Bella again, never stood arm in arm with her sisters, or held Eve tight in her arms, a vicious, broken creature who knew how to survive, and nothing more. Oh, it's a chemical for fertilizer. Oh, gunpowder and fertilizer. Well, there you go. So now we know. Thank you guys for that info. Used in fireworks too. Well, there you go. I literally had no idea. Not even joking. Never heard of it before. Gideon Hill is staring at the ceiling, his hands clasped loosely in his lap. His dog is staring straight at Juniper with those mournful black eyes, and Juniper doesn't figure that that's their natural color. No one ever guessed what she is, Juniper says softly into the cell, the air still rich and thick with storytelling. Well, I hide her well. Hill's fingers stroke the iron collar at his dog's throat, and the dog flinches. I thought witches were friendly with their familiars. Hill shakes his head at the ceiling. That's what the stories say, isn't it? But if you want real power, you have to learn to abandon sentiment. You must learn to think of your familiar not as a pet or a companion, but just as a tool. And if a tool fails to do what is necessary, if it resists its master's hand, he shrugs in a manner that is supposed to look careless, but doesn't. Juniper tries to imagine what kind of devilry you have to wreak before witching itself resisted you, before your own family bared its teeth at you. Was it when he first bound his soul to someone else and stole their body for himself? Or maybe it was even earlier, when he drove a grove full of starlings to their death. Her eyes fall to the rubbed raw skin beneath the dog's collar, and she wonders if it's more than it seems. The first witch collar, perhaps, crafted by some way back incarnation of Gideon Hill to control his wayward hound. And then she wonders what would happen if the hound were free. Gideon is still looking upward, waiting patiently for her next question, and Juniper asks that question. Yeah, but what happened after the happily ever after? Gideon sighs. Yeah. Tell me more. Yeah, grunty pants. Yeah. What else? What else? Yeah. Yeah. What else, grunty pants? What else? Okay. Gideon sighs and he lifts one hand, and its shadow stretches and roils across the floor, digits and joints bending in unnatural shapes. Well, the words and the ways this requires are potent. They come at a price. Power always comes at a price. This isn't a matter of right or wrong, you understand, but merely the working of the world. If you want strength, if you want to survive,
There must be sacrifice. Well, that's not what Mama Mags taught them. You can tell a wickedness of a witch by the wickedness of her ways, Mama Mags would say. All right, so who paid your price? Juniper asks. And he bends his neck to look directly at her, weighing something. A fever spread through my parents' village that first winter. The word fever rings in Juniper's ears, a distant bell tolling. It was nothing too remarkable, except the midwives and the wise women couldn't cure it. One of them came sniffing around and made certain deductions. Yeah, I took her shadow too. And the sickness spread further. The villagers grew unruly, hysterical. I did what I had to do in order to protect myself. That line smoothed over his face, and it felt like a polished pebble, as if he'd said the line too many times to himself. But then, of course, the fever spread even further, and I didn't know how to control it, yet. Which kinds of people were expendable, which weren't? I'm more careful these days. The ringing in Juniper's ears is loud now, deafening even. An uncanny illness, the three had called it, and Juniper remembers the illustrations in Miss Hurston's moldy old school books, showing abandoned villages and over-full graveyards, carts piled high with bloated bodies. Was that Gideon's price? Had the entire world paid for the sins of one broken and bitter boy? And were they paying for his sins again? I'm more careful these days, is what he'd said, and Juniper thinks of Eve's labored breathing, and the endless rows of cots at the charity hospital, the fever that raged through the city's tenements and row houses, dim alleys, preying on the poor and brown and foreign, the expendable. Oh, you bastard, she thought, but Hill doesn't seem to hear the hitch in her breathing. People grew frightened and angry. They marched on my village with torches, looking for a villain, so I gave them one. Hill lifts both hands, palm up. What would you have of me? I told them a story about an old witch woman who lived in a hut in the roots of an old oak. I told them she spoke with devils and brewed pestilence and death in her cauldron. They believed me. Yeah, it's terrible that they believed him, huh? His voice is perfectly dispassionate, neither guilty nor grieving. They burned her books and then they burned her. And when they left my village, I left with them, riding at their head. So the young George of Hyle had broken the world and then pointed his finger at his fellow witches like a little boy caught making a mess. He survived at any cost, well, at every cost. Every cost. Oh, you absolute damn bastard, Juniper thought. And your sister, did they catch her too? But Juniper doesn't think they caught her. Juniper thinks his sister escaped and retreated to the lonely tour of Avalon and wrote herself into a dozen new stories until the day her brother came back with an army at his back and burned her for the crime of not loving him enough. No. Well, did you ever see her again? Once. I asked her again if she would come with me and stand at my side. I could have protected her, but she refused me. Again. Juniper's always thought of the final days at Avalon as a grand battle, a clash between forces of good and evil, saints against sinners, and now she pictures instead a brother and a sister looking at one another through the flames, both haunted by the same hateful story. The maiden who found her way into a better one and made a way for herself among the crows and the foxes and the wild things. The saint who never found any ways except cruel ones. And Juniper wonders what cost the maiden refuse the brother she loved. She wonders what it cost the saint to burn the only person who ever really loved him. And Gideon Hill is watching her again, and she imagines she sees something of that cost in the hollow blue of his eyes. You remind me of her, he says very low and soft, and Juniper looks away. Yeah, that's even harder, right, Jen, in some ways? He straightens on the bench, voice clipped and quick again. Which brings me to my question, James Juniper. Will you stay with me, or will you too burn? Her neck snaps back towards him, and she feels her jaw dangling and closes it carefully. Come again? I've been alone for a very, very long time, and I grow weary of it. I have no wife, no family, no lovers. Yeah, what about Miss Wiggin? Isn't she your daughter? Hill makes a soft and derisive noise in his throat.
She's useful to me in her way. A pliable will, a pretty face, excellent for politics. I've met dozens of women like her in my time.
Juniper is willing to bet he met hundreds, maybe thousands. How dull the world must look after centuries of soul eating, slinking from body to body like a disease. How many wives has he buried? How many children has he outlived? Grace Wiggin must seem to him nothing but a mayfly, another collared creature under his sway. Yeah, me either, Avery. I didn't expect him to ask that either. How weird.
But you, he says, are a rare species. Free, feral, forceful, and such a will. Didn't you wonder why I never stole your shadow?
His smile is warm, almost admiring.
What a witch I could make of you.
Yeah, and my sisters? The smile dimmed slightly.
The people need a villain again. Someone has to burn.
Beneath the watery red eyes he stole, Juniper thinks that she sees a glimmer of his true self, a little boy lost in the woods who doesn't want to be alone.
But not you.
Juniper can tell by the curl of Gideon's smile that he's confident in her answer, that certain that she'll forsake her sisters and she will survive. That's what he did, after all. It's what Juniper herself might have done, back when she was heartless and a hurting thing, but she wants much more than to merely survive now. She pretends to consider it, catching her lip between her teeth and making worried eyes. Hill stands slowly and steps closer, hungry-eyed and hopeful, hands lifting as if he wants to take her in his arms, and she waits until he's close enough that she can see his pulse jackrabbiting in his throat. I told you before, Hill. Her whisper is soft and sincere. You can go fuck yourself. Shadowed hands slam her spine against the stone wall. The collar burns at the touch of his witching, but Juniper's throat is knotted and scarred now, half numb to the pain. Distantly, it occurs to her that men like Gideon ought to stop breaking people, because sometimes the people mend twice as strong. Hill's face swims dazily and dizzily before her, chalk white and mad as a spring starling, the lost little boy replaced by the ancient and addled soul.
She refused me and she burned for it, he hisses into her face, and so will you, James Juniper.
He vanishes into a swirl of shadow, and then she's alone. Juniper sits for a long while afterwards, not sleeping, and she touches the brass locket lying warm against her breast, thinking of all those long hours lying on Mama Mags's grave, waiting for a ghost that never came, thinking of the voice that she heard last time she was locked up, wishing that she could hear it again, and then she thinks, well, why not? The drawl of the chain over her head cracks the locket open. Half of it is occupied by a face that Juniper never lets eyes linger on for long. She lingers now. The photograph is blurred and silvered. The face is blooming out of the shadows, beautiful like Agnes, freckled like Bella. Juniper's never found much of herself in her mother, but she supposes that she shares a certain tilt to the chin, a wildness in their eyes. Heavy hands rest on her shoulder, and the picture is too small now to show its owner, but Juniper knows every scar and knob of her daddy's knuckles. The other half of the locket holds a single curl of thistledown hair, tufted and white, and Juniper strokes it just once. She knows it's madness, she knows it's foolish and the dream of a frightened girl, but she whispers the words anyway. Little girl blue, come blow your horn. She hesitates when she comes to the place where a name should be. She figures a person should be respectful when summoning the dead, so she calls her grandmother by her true name, Magdalena Cole. Awake and arise. Nothing happens, though, except the collar sears white hot and Juniper swears, and the wind rushes through the cell window, smelling of tobacco and earth and midnight of home. Juniper swallows very hard. Mama Mags? No one answers her, though. There's a cool touch trailing over her brow, the wind over her skin, or the brush of ghostly lips. I'll be twice damned. Juniper's voice is hoarse and tear-thick. You did it, didn't you? You bound yourself to this locket. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. The words are the creak of a floorboard and the whisper of moonlight. It's nothing but a hedge witch's spell to mend split seams, but maybe it isn't the words that matter, really. Maybe magic is really just the space between what you have and what you need. And Mama Mags needed to leave some pale scrap of herself to watch over her granddaughters. A suspicion occurred to Juniper then about what else Mama Mags might have bound, about the invisible force that pulled Juniper and her sisters to St. George Square that day in March, the lines that still stretched between them, not fate, not destiny, or even blood right, but merely the faded remains of their grandmother's gift. Juniper rests her head in her palms and feels the tears sliding down her wrists. Shh, 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 she whispers into the wind. It's all right, baby girl. Juniper cries until the breeze dies and the smell of tobacco fades from the room, until her collar cools around her neck and the bitter cold in her heart finally burns itself to cold ash and blows away. I think she summoned Mama Mags, you guys. I wish that I could read more. If we didn't have an appointment, I'd read the next chapter. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I know, she's gonna see her grandma again. So good. So nice to see grandmas, huh? Yeah. Okay, I know. Is it poops or toots? It's probably poops, yeah. Thank you guys for being willing to do a little bit earlier and a little bit shorter thing today. Secret Husband has an appointment, and so we have to go to that. So we're gonna go, but I will probably be on later to make a little bit of slime. I don't know what time yet. I'll let you guys know, probably in the afternoon again. Slimes are gonna start mailing out, like I said, in the next couple of days for any Slime of the Month slash, what do you call it? Grab bags. And the sign up is up for Roll for Slime and custom days for lives. So make sure you pick your day. If any of the days are too full and we need to add more days, we will. Yes, grab bags, that's the word. All good. I remember words, I swear. Words and ways, if you will. That's it. All right. I will see you all on the flip side, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Until I see you, we will read more tomorrow because no appointments tomorrow. Yay, no appointments. Grumble pants.